pledge allegiance
allegiance
to
to the
the
flag
of the
States
United States of America and
and
to the
to the
republic
republic
for which it stands, one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice.
for all.
All right, thanks.
Do you have to start recording?
It does it as soon as I open it up. So
Oh,
that
that's right. I saw it. Yeah, it was just you and I. Oh gosh, it got that whole nonsense that I was
right, our
talking.
conversations are.
You're on record now.
Now I am.
All two people that might watch it, they'll see what all right, so uh, I mean, not too much on the agenda here, just the go through the priorities for this year, still do some more planning activity, cover the single-use plastic ban in preparation for the town hall coming up, and then just go through some local news that I've collected over the last month on different emails and different things that I've seen, and anyone can jump in there. And I didn't put it on here, but Rick will ask you to give your normal kind of update
Sure.
at some point here. So here's the results of our poll that put out last month. I did update that today, but I do ask, I had to end up doing an update. I did it over the weekend and had the chart ready, and then had to rework it today. We had a couple late submissions, so you know, I have a full-time job and two kids and everything. If you guys could help me out and get the responses in, earlier, for anything like this, so that I'm not taking my lunch time and putting this together for today's meeting. But anyway, um, so here's the updated results. So we did get new members, Paul and John input here, and then I think most other people did update their inputs as well.
This is John. Andy, I apologize. I sent it in last night, so you should have a copy of it.
Yep, yeah, I did see it. So I yeah, I updated it at noon today. So unless somebody did it after lunchtime today, it's in here. Um, so not really too much change. Energy transition plan presentation still coming in at the top. And change the way this is here. Yeah, my screen's kind of partially covered by the screen here. So I'm gonna put that down in the corner. Um, so and then the names I have over on the right, those are the anyone that listed that item in their top three, and it is kind of in order. I mean, if there's ties, two people choosing it as their number one, then I just put them in order. But other than that, I had it, I think, as a number one, but in the second line, I think I had as a three. So, and Maria, you had it as a two. Um, so you see that the names kind of get shifted around by their own order. Um, Max, of course, is a higher rating in this poll. That would be a lower priority. Min would be the highest priority. So one is the highest priority. And so an average two or so is the overall highest priority that we ranked. And then, 7.8 went to the highest ranking. And they're put in order of the average, the overall average. Bill, I did see you on. I did remove Bill since he's not on the EAB from the poll, but I think there was only one difference when you included him in it, and I think it might have been it was in the middle. It wasn't the top ones. So again, energy transition plan for adoption, number one, rooftop solar cost benefit. I think that did actually move up one space. Plastic ordinance, I think may have been number two before, shifted down to number two, three. Open space funding, I think, did make a good jump up, and community composting wasn't on the prior poll back in December. So that's certainly new to the list from what we saw before. Let's see. I'm not sure that there's too much else that I wanted to really call out before just open discussion. But I mean, the way I would like it to work, I mean, there were 12 different ideas. There's no way we're be able to work on 12 things. We just unless, you know, we start spending a lot more time each week working on it, I just don't think we'd be successful with all these things. Although, I mean, some of them are kind of short term, you know, you work for a couple months or something, like the shared energy manager application. I'm sure if you spend a couple months working on that in the fall when it's due, you know, it's not going to take up your time all year or anything. But still, I think to try to do too many would be a mistake. So, you know, I think we should pick, you know, maybe 5 or something that we'll focus on, and the others, you know, unfortunately, we can keep on the list, you know, keep on our old topics and things. If we find we end up having time, then great, wonderful. But I would suggest we try to limit it. There's 7 of us total. Let's try to focus our attention on, you know, ones and really get them done this year. And I would like to see, you know, somebody kind of take the lead for each of these. Obviously, there's, you know, you see many names against several of these. You know, everybody can participate, but I'd like to have kind of a person listed as, you know, the POC for it, and they can kind of coordinate and do a status update at the monthly meetings, or if you have no status, that's fine. Maybe bi-monthly provide a status, that's fine. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I'll just open it up. Any thoughts as you look at the list? Any reflections?
I picked my top 3, I guess, based on stuff that is closest, I think, to moving forward and what we've put in a lot of work in the past. Like I know, you know, we're obviously making progress with the plastics ordinance, so that's coming up, and the rooftop solar cost benefit and the energy transition plan. I know Bill and Andy and other folks have been working on that or have worked a lot on that in the past. So I think, you know, since those are already kind of in progress, focusing on those 3 would be good. But yeah, I mean, we can certainly look at other topics. But I think you know, I agree that we should pick a smaller, shorter list and focus on those.
I have a question. When I was doing mine, let me lower my hand. Some of these I got caught up in thinking a lot of these could be part of community education, environmental education, like the composting and what was the other one that I was the lawn meadow, those ideas, using our lawn space in our backyards for a meadow for pollinating gardens, and the solar and those kind of things. You know, when we talk about the solar cost benefit, I I'm drawing a blank, but I could be wrong. Was that for the new township building, or is that for the residents?
This is for the municipal buildings, I think.
Municipal
Right.
buildings,
Yeah,
right? But I mean,
the new
could it
building and the GPCC, I believe.
that's what I remembered. And the community center. Okay. But if you think about, look at the list, there's many of them that could be part of community education.
Mhm.
That, especially even, residential solar, the environmental, open space, composting, the bike path, any of those, the tree, preservation, the meadow ordinance, any of those things. So do we kind of blend them into community education for the township residents? Or is that strictly for the township municipal buildings?
Well, I mean, I agree with what you're saying that you look at all these other topics and absolutely they could be part of an education series, but the intent of the other ones, the community composting is exactly going back to trying to look at a site, that could be used and offered to the residents for composting
Composting.
and so forth. So I mean, I agree with what you're saying, and it
Oh, I
would
know
make
you don't.
sense.
Yeah.
Exactly as you're saying. Like, I mean, these are the topics we're bringing up, proposing as ideas. Hey, let's make them educational series, and then we collect the feedback from the community as we're doing that education series. So I think that would make a lot of sense if we were to work on that education series, that it aligns with what we're doing. So I agree with what you're saying there, but um, each one did have a specific action, not
Hmm.
just education involved.
Right. But there could be a component to it of
Mhm.
education,
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And I think a lot of the topics that we'll cover on social media with our posts will cover a lot of this stuff too. So making posts about this and building our audience on social media and our Facebook page can help get the word out about, how to properly recycle in Plymouth Township, how to go about composting if you're interested. That stuff, a lot of it's available on Plymouth Township's website. Um, how to do all this stuff, but I guess that's not really known to people. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
social media could be a great tool.
For sure. Good point.
It
Yeah,
could
you're
be a
right.
great
People
tool, but
don't know about it. I'm sorry, John.
yeah, just trying to publicize this. I mean, the Plymouth, I must admit, I've never been on Plymouth Township website, at least not yet. And social media is a fabulous idea, but you still have to get the the information or the sites available to somebody. I mean, is there some kind of, and just an off the wall thought? Is there some kind of way where, like, sometimes when you get is it the water bill or something, you get a flyer about the township building and the events that they offer? I mean, is there some way to publicize some of this stuff with a mailer to something that most of the township residents would get, or is that thinking too much of it?
I think the newsletter, Andy wrote a article for the newsletter last month. Did it get included? Because I read it and I didn't see it.
We
Included.
we submitted it. I don't think the newsletter is coming out until March sometime.
Oh, okay. I know that I thought it would have been in the insert we just got in our sewer bill about 2 weeks ago. It wasn't there. I looked for it. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's in the spring
It's still
newsletter.
in this stream. Okay.
I'm laughing because I'm just thinking of the sewer bill. I do them by electronic withdrawal from my checking account, so I didn't even get the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I get a
Mine-
hard
Interesting.
copy.
Yeah.
And Andrew, what were you thinking with the top three? Where would you prioritize our top three? You and Andy been on the committee longer than me and Rick, so
Yeah, I think the plastics
for
would
sure.
be our top right now because we're so close and the town hall's coming up.
We still need a date. Yeah.
We'll get to that next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, you guys are real close on the plastic ordinance, and I believe council's on board with that. It's just about, I guess, finalizing all the wording and the actual ordinance and so that to me would be something that would be attainable. The rooftop solar for the township building, I was just up there today. We were doing training on the new rooftop units. There's really not a lot of space for solar panels on that roof. Now, I'm not saying you can't still do a cost analysis or ROI on it, but there's there's really not a lot of space on that roof. Um, but, I'm not saying, I'm not saying it wouldn't pay to put solar on there. There's just not a lot of square footage. And the energy transition plan, I mean, that was almost ready about 2 years ago. So I don't know where that sits, but that's one that's that was actually brought before council a couple of years ago. But because we were just getting ready to start the municipal building, didn't make a. I don't think there was enough time for staff to put into it, is what my understanding was.
Mhm.
That's my opinion on your top three.
Mhm.
Yeah, so plastic ordinance we're gonna push forward with. I don't think there's any
Right.
doubt on that. And we'll talk about that actually next. We've got that broken up into, some additional tasks and so forth. So we'll
Oh,
get to
good.
that in the next chart. Um, energy transition plan, is really Bill and my baby. That sounds a little weird. We had a baby together. All right, now that's on the recording. All right, so anyway, no, I definitely have a lot of interest in picking it back up. I don't know how much is going to have to be revised based on the events of the last 2 years or so, but very interested in picking it back up. And so falling in line with my wishes that we kind of have a POC person in front of it, primary point of contact for those that don't know what I'm saying with POC. Um, I would, say I'll take up the energy transition plan and be the lead there. I think that looking at kind of the schedule for the plastic ordinance, I probably want to start, doing a little homework, going back through the energy transition plan and looking at it and kind of do that for the first half and probably not really bring it to council until summer. Have the plastic ordinance be kind of the earlier focus of this year. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Um, so rooftop solar, we did take, Bill did present that last year. Bill, I believe, is on, so I don't know exactly what you were thinking for next steps there. Keep revising, keep updating, and look and just see if we have some better numbers or a more interested in group in council now that has been some changes this year. And then of course the municipal building's finishing up. So as that finishes, you might find some more interest. But um,
So, Andy, I have a question. So when we were talking about present rooftop solar panel, solar cost benefit analysis, did we only consider the municipal building? Or are we identifying places where we can, like, not the private properties, as in not the residential properties, but are we identifying any commercial properties or just the municipal owned properties?
right now, just what had been looked at, I believe, was the township building and the community center. Now, in the energy transition plan, it talks at a very, very high level just of the concept of uh, either ground or parking lot at municipal public lands. Eventually, if I remember the way the energy transition plan works, we kind of broke it into two. I believe the first phase was, township municipality focused. And then a second phase would be the broader community. So, eventually, as we get to the resident level. But that information is very high. So what it was talked about with the present rooftop solar cost benefit was focused on municipal and really on the community center and the township building.
Okay.
Bill, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, we did not get to present the solar proposal. Council asked us to wait till after the building completion, so I agree it would probably be better to do it after this ordinance, but they have not seen any of the numbers. And I think with Rick's mention of the new roof, probably be good to rerun the analysis after we get maybe we can get an aerial picture of the roof. I don't know how long it takes for Google Maps to catch up with new roof shots, or whether Rick, anybody else is going to get us a roof shot. Maybe do we have anybody who has a drone that could take a picture of the roof?
I don't know anyone that has a drone. I could probably, pull the sheet out of the plan set that shows, just shows the roof with the rooftop units and all the exhaust fans, and there is a screening up there that blocks a couple of the rooftop units, but I probably could pull that sheet out of the plan set. But I don't know anyone that has a drone. I'm not sure if the police have a drone or not. I don't think so.
Yeah, we can also wait and see if the Google Maps updates during the summer. So, this may be one to consider doing after the ordinances or the plastic ordinances set, and then see if we can get a roof shot, a roof picture, or whatever. And just to go back to Lena's question about why we only focused on the municipal buildings, is that part of this proposal is to show the township how much money they can save over the life of the panels, 25, 30 years. It's pretty significant now with the 30% federal credit. And that credit is now available to all nonprofits, faith organizations, municipalities, schools, which it had not been before 2022. So with that extra 30% off of as a credit against the installation cost, it brings the payback for the township down under 10, usually under 10 years. And it depends on, of course, a really rough guesstimate as to what the per watt cost will be. So that spreadsheet that I put together was very conservative, and it used a higher cost per watt. So, it's kind of like not promising the township the moon in terms of financial savings, but even with that conservative cost estimate, it does show the township that they could save a significant amount of money. And the reason for presenting it would be to help them understand that, so they could see how their budgeting over the next 25 years could be enhanced by having less. It's almost a new revenue stream for the township, because that reduces their expenses and gives them a chance to use that money for other purposes. So that's the real reason to present it.
So I'm just curious, as people look at the list, is there any one of these that you would like to volunteer and say that you'll lead, and then we can talk through the details on timing, or other people would help you with the project? Ignore again the plastic ordinance we'll talk about on the next chart. So
Yeah. I would love to do, the community environmental, start putting that together, or the lawn meta ordinance, which I think I volunteered for last meeting. So, you did, you know,
You said community environmental, you're talking about the education
the
series?
education series, yeah. But it's number 4. You wanted to top 3 law and ordinances.
Um,
I'm the only one on law and ordinance. I'm sorry.
so, so the order is, right, I mean, I don't have them number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So community environmental education series is the 8th highest.
Okay, so it's
Um,
not, it's down there. Okay. So, I mean, I'll work on whatever you need, basically.
I mean, I don't, so, yeah, Maria, Lena, especially you had some ones that didn't align completely with the top 3 or 5. Um, you know,
I
whatever
can,
you feel passionate about. I mean, I would say that makes all the difference, right? I mean, if you feel passionate about your work or feel passionate about a project or something, then you'll put yourself into it. So, I want you to align with this group. I want to see how we can align together and get a bunch of people working on it. But I'm not, I won't silence you. If you want to work on number 12 and you feel passionate about it, then, you know, go for it. I don't know.
so I can take up the rooftop solar cost benefit analysis one.
Right.
I can, if we want to make effort or put effort into the return on environment, the open space, creating an open space fund and try to make a push for council like we did. I think we brought it up last year. I'd be happy to work on that.
Could someone explain what that is to me, please? Because I'm really not sure.
Was a new tax that would, oh yeah, here we go. Create a space that or a fund that could be used by the township to buy open space before it's developed or whatever. Yeah, there's the top one there.
I didn't
Yeah,
think we had
so
any left.
what's that?
I didn't think we had any left.
Oh, open space. So yeah,
No,
the
really,
township is
I'm not
90
being
plus
facetious.
percent
Yeah.
developed, right? Yeah, I don't know what the
I
exact
mean,
number is, but
yeah,
There's a list of properties that are identified that if they came up for sale, the township would be interested in purchasing. Then we just recently purchased one of those off that list, which was 818 Germantown Pike, which is, borders the community center property.
Mhm.
So there are, I'll say, I don't know, maybe a half dozen properties that are on that list that, I know of 2 recently, or I would say in the last 5 or 6 years that were purchased.
Great.
yeah, and
They're not large, they're not giant properties, but they make sense because they either border a park or, some type of township facility.
and Rick I'm thinking of that that parcel next to JFK Park that just got developed and next to Harriet Wetherill as well. Would that have been something that the township could have purchased if they had a fund like this?
So, yes, and that property was on the list. I think the problem was that, there might have been like a little bit of a conflict of interest on that property. And, I don't know if I want to get into it, on recording, but there was a group that owned that property, and there probably was a conflict of interest at the township bought it. I'll just say that. The one at JFK.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean properties like that, I think especially that JFK one, because it was mostly wooded, along a stream or near a stream. It had some pretty old big trees in there. So that would have been, I think, good. So I think there are plenty of spots left for this fund. And we could also, I've seen similar funds be set up for maintenance of public and natural lands as well, like tree planting, tree removal, invasive management, that kind of stuff. So maybe part of that fund could be used for that too.
Is the project to identify the new properties, or is it to move forward on purchasing them?
The project for us would be to try to get a fund established. Right now, there's no fund in Plymouth.
Okay.
So we would have to, there was a study from Montgomery County that came out, I think last year, and had pretty good data that showed, open space saves money for the township and keeps taxes lower and all this other good stuff. But Plymouth Township doesn't have an open space fund.
Mhm.
Are there grants available to get us started? I mean, I could start looking.
I'm not sure, but I know that for townships that do have a fund like this, there are a lot of grants that we could apply for if we had funding, like matching grants that could go to buying a property or something. But if we don't have,
You have to have a seed money. Yeah.
if we don't have that fund, those grants we can't apply for them or something like that.
See, they have
So-
examples of what other people or other communities did. Lower Frederick is one. West Town, they increased the real estate tax, and with paying income tax increase.
Yeah,
Okay.
White
So,
Marsh has one. Sorry, Andy.
yeah, I mean, I appreciate the conversation, but I don't know that we need to solve the problem here. So I do have, open space fund, and Andrew, we'll say you're leading that effort. So we've got four, including the plastic ordinance that we've just kind of gone through the list right here and kind of got people in front of. Is there any, so the four are energy transition plan, rooftop solar, open space fund, and the plastic ordinance. Are there any else that we want to say we're taking up, or well, we can just get started with these and then we can revisit in a couple months or something if you want to get started on these four. and
Yeah. I think
come
the
back.
plastic ordinance is going to probably take a lot of our time
Mhm, mhm.
to get ready for.
Maria, if down the line you wanted to get into some of that community education stuff and put a couple of these projects under that umbrella, I'd certainly be willing to work with you. I
Okay.
have absolutely no experience in any of those other four. I mean, they're they're way beyond anything I'm ready to tackle, but I would work with you on something like that if a couple meetings from
Okay.
now I'd be one to look at that.
Right. I think, once we get, the plastic ordinance, underway, I think, either the education series or the lawn meadow, we should be ready for the spring with that one, with the lawn meadow ordinance, because there was an issue last year and we weren't ready for it. Somebody was fined and they went to their their representative, and they waived the fine, but because she didn't cut her grass or something. Wasn't it something like that, Andy? I can't remember
Mhm.
the whole story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was just new to the board at that time. So do you want to move on to the ordinance? The plastics?
Yeah. I mean, I wrote down community ed, Maria and John.
Okay. That's
um,
wonderful.
I'm just trying to think. I guess, you can judge your time and see, well, like you said, we got the plastic, and I have you on for part of that, helping out. So
Okay,
just have to judge your time. So we'll revisit, but I think we've got the idea on a few things that will be working here going forward. And I don't know, I'm excited about that. Thanks. Thanks.
I could help with the open space
Mhm.
funding, Andrew, if you need help with that.
yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks, Paul. All right, good. Yeah, then we've all got our name against something here initially. That's good. All right, so then moving on to the single-use plastic. So let's see, I'm trying to think kind of since last month we put in the request to delay a month that was accepted. And Karen did reach out to me then and ask for suggestions from the EAB on when we'd like to hold the town hall. So what we had talked about, I think maybe it was just through email, about having it after our April meeting.
Right.
So sometime around the 18th through the 30th, we were looking at all her previous times were 7 to 8 p.m. So I'm just assuming that's basically the hour she's going to want to hold the town hall in. So 7 to 8 p.m. Andrew, you responded. You're the only one who responded. I meant to actually look at my own calendar and I didn't look at the updates. I know when I looked at it before, I didn't really have anything yet that I could say for sure. The only problem is, I mean, I'll have my kids in multiple sports at the time, so I can say now, yeah, I'll do something, but come April, that might get kind of difficult to have
Was there
two or three
a day
sports
of the week they wanted to have it?
I don't recall in the in Maria in the prior not poll but whatever the doodle poll that she sent out. I thought it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at least.
Right, the 18th
Were
is
the
a
option.
Thursday. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, do any of us have a day of the week we want to make sure that we're all available? So we can, as many of us can be there as possible. But you said you might, yeah, you might have some conflicts.
I- It's so far out there as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And it's spring. It's spring, so yeah. So
But
everything starts in the spring,
but obviously they'll need to announce it at least a month ahead of time, and they need to
right?
make sure it deconflicts
So
with other meetings and everything. So we need to get back to them and let them
so
know.
we need to take a vote on which night we're going to do it, right? Tonight we should do
Well,
this.
I mean, she's looking for options. I mean, we can't dictate what night it is, but we probably need to give her at least a few
Okay.
nights to work with. But yeah, I agree. It would be good to get back. Maybe if not tonight, try to get back to her, in a week or within the week.
Okay. So how do you want to proceed? Should we send you an email? Because forgive me for not catching this if you asked us before. Um, how do you want us to respond to you about a date?
Yeah, I'm okay with that still at this point. If you just want to shoot me an email, but like I said, I'm gonna have to pull the trigger
Okay.
and send something to her in like a week or so.
All right.
So will the town hall be instead of EAB meeting? Because like otherwise we will have April 15th will be our monthly meeting for EAB, right?
No, that's a Thursday. So our meeting should be on the
On
16th, I guess.
Tuesday, right?
Okay.
Like 15th, I believe. I
16th.
mean 16th. Yeah.
It's on the 16th, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the 16th in April.
So we will have our regular EAB meeting and then we will have the town hall meeting. Is that
Yeah,
right?
if we
Yeah,
choose
yeah.
the 18th. I'm
Well,
okay. Bill has his hand up. Bill, Andy, do you want to recognize Bill so he can jump in?
go ahead, Bill, yeah.
Yeah, I just think that, it's better to delay this if we could. I would ask for a May public meeting because you'd be surprised how quickly a month is gonna go by. And if we're still working on the website and the, signage, and I forget, there's one other thing, I think in our to-do list.
Yeah, I start
It
working
could-
on it.
It could be that that extra month is gonna be critical, especially with 3 new members that have not been in this two-year discussion about the plastic bag situation. So I just think that the more time you give yourselves to be comfortable with this, the better each of you will be in speaking to your neighbors about the purpose, the reasons, the background, the vision. So I just don't know that rushing it into April is worth the risk for all of you members to be able to come up to speed. So I would just ask, Andy, if you can ask for a May time.
Nick, are you still with us here? What are your thoughts? Any idea on what council's feedback would be on another month delay till May?
I don't think Nick's still on.
There.
Can you
Oh,
hear
there
me?
he is. Yeah,
Kind of garbled. Yeah, try again.
How about now?
yeah.
I don't think council would mind at all if it's another month. I think we definitely prefer it for y'all to be as prepared as possible and bringing in and having like a complete presentation, having all your specifics lined up. So if you want to delay it to May to make sure all of you are as good to go, I think council would be absolutely okay with that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Does I don't know, EAB? I don't know if we could do a formal vote, but I don't know any disagreement with moving it out another month to May?
No, but I think we need to
Proposing it.
give Karen a date in May. This
Right.
way, and for us too, to give us a deadline. Lena's shaking her head.
Good
Yeah, I
point.
think we need to give Karen a date so they can advertise it when we're going to do
Mhm,
this.
mhm, mhm,
I
mhm.
don't think we just say, oh, delay it till May. I think we need to say, hey, we're going to delay it until May X,
Mhm.
It would be after our May meeting, right?
Well, so
Not
May
necess-
isn't until the 21st. And so it gets, I guess, a little tight there. Maybe if it
Oh,
was
really?
that week, it'd be fine, but then you've got Memorial Day on the 27th.
Yeah,
Um,
May's crazy for me. I got 2 graduations. Do we have to have it after our meeting? Since our meeting is going to be
no,
the 16th of April. Oh, you're right. It is a month.
Yeah, if I could just insert, the value of having it after the EAB meeting would be that if any concerns came up between the March meeting, the development of the materials and the review of those materials at the April meeting, you never know who's going to make a comment about something that you've already built, and then you still have time to repair it before you go into the public meeting. So having the May EAB meeting under your belt as just a cushion in case you want to review any last minute details of the presentation could be valuable.
So that brings us to May 23rd. That's a Thursday. If it doesn't conflict on the, Nick, do you have the council calendar? Andy, do you know if May 23rd works?
I don't know.
Nick, I don't know if you guys saw, but Nick basically said, give a couple dates because
Oh, okay.
it also has to poll council too to see if they're
Yep.
available.
Right.
You guys gave a couple dates in May. Might be better than just picking one date, just in case council can't make it.
I just think May there, if you want to go after our meeting, I mean, you're really all holiday basically. I mean, if
Yeah,
people
there's
take a
Memorial
long
Day.
Memorial Day weekend, then that's not going to work too well.
So the 23rd and the 30th, Memorial Day is 27th.
27, yeah.
So is the third, you think people go away the 30th, that week of the 27th? So that would include the 30th, so more people wouldn't be around?
I don't know, Maria.
No, I'm just throwing that out there
Yeah.
as an option, since,
Yeah.
you know, we want to be as clear as possible when we're going to do this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the 23rd and the 30th are good dates to offer.
I think so too. Anybody, you want to take a vote, Andy?
Yeah, I agree.
We-
We don't want to delay it too far that like,
No.
yeah.
We can give those two dates as options to council and see what works best for them.
Yeah.
Unless you think one needs to be a different day of the week. They're both Thursdays.
I think that's
I'm
okay.
okay with that.
If it doesn't work for them, I'm sure
Okay.
they'll come back and
I've never done a town hall, so I'm just making sure we cover our bases. So the 23rd and the 30th are two dates. Okay. So we hold it.
Um,
Are those
I
dates
mean,
work?
I mean, would you be okay saying the 22nd, 23rd, and 30th? I know it's one day after our meeting, but I'm trying to look for a third date somehow
Oh, for a different day of the week. Yeah.
and a different day of the week. Yeah.
I can't do the 22nd, but I can do
Uh,
the 29th if that's any better for folks.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be better in terms of our meeting being
Yeah, that's
right
true.
the day before. So, all right.
Okay, so 23rd, 29th, and 30th,
Yeah.
we're holding. Okay.
That is what I'll give to Karen. I mean, she
I
might say
know.
no, but okay. All right, so
You-
let's move on. Let's move on. So those we got some dates we'll throw out there for Karen. So I don't know. Was there any feedback you wanted to share with the group, Lena Maria, on the
No,
Southeast
I
PA
took
SUP meeting?
one run at the single pat, the sign. But I wasn't happy with it and I didn't have, I mean, is there plagiarism if we use like online, graphics?
They usually tell you if they're protected.
Okay, I'll double
Mhm.
check it because I found a couple, but I wasn't sure whether it would be, I have to check to make sure they're not licensed.
Is it the material from like White Marsh or
No,
Narbrecht
no,
or
no.
something else?
It was
Okay.
just, just plastic bag with a X through it, those kind of things. I have a question that might come up at the town hall. So bear with me. I know when I bring my own bags, and probably other people have heard this, have seen this too. Certain supermarkets will not bag your groceries. I bring my own bags to Weiss. And where else did I bring them? And you have to bag your own groceries when you bring your own bags.
That's weird.
I know. I'm trying to remember where else it happened, but I'm drawing a blank. But I wonder if this is going to become an issue because they started this during the pandemic. They weren't allowed to handle customers' bags, and some places are still have it in place. Weiss is one place, and maybe the other supermarkets are doing it either. Maybe it was Giant. That's another place I go to. Maybe it was ShopRite, but ShopRite's closed. At least our ShopRite is closed in Plymouth. Or it's East Norton, whatever. Has that happened to anybody else?
That's a good question. I feel like most folks go through the self-checkout now, and they have to
That's
bag their
true.
own stuff anyway. I don't know. That is a good point though.
Yeah, I mean, being older sometimes, as I am, it's sometimes, I need help with some of the things. I mean, I go through the self-checkout if I only have a few things, but if I have a lot, it's a lot to put them in your own bags. And they don't even help you. They won't like touch it. It's like poison. It's amazing. Anyway, I just thought, I wonder if some of the vendors, supermarkets and other places might, bring it up. Like at the Metroplex or whatever. I guess the police is like, Bill put something in the chat. Okay, Target
Yeah.
is an option for no bag and credits you a small amount. Okay. But what if I don't know,
So-
yeah,
I just wanted to share that I think it's good. You have a question, we'll have some questions as we prepare for the town hall. We will, Baron from Penn Environment is able to join us next month. I didn't just learned about that today, so I wasn't able to
oh, good.
gonna put
I
it
was
on the
going to ask
chart.
that question. Good.
But so he will be able to join, and he was actually asking me, what we would like to hear from him or what we'd like him to talk about. So if we had questions, thoughts, either from ourselves or from neighbors, I think that would be perfect to go through, and then he could kind of help us with what he's seen and best practices he's learned about. So yeah, I think that would be great topics for bringing up with him.
Thank you. I was going to ask if he was coming or not.
Yep. So yeah, next month he'll be able to join us virtually. I'm assuming we're still virtual next month, and we can talk about when the township building's open. But anyway, he said he could join virtual, and so I just need to let him know what we want to talk about.
You want us to send you questions?
That would be very helpful. Yep.
Okay, sure. You got it. Bill has his hand up.
Go ahead, Bill.
Andy, just another thought, we could seed him with a few of the comments that came in during the feedback form. There were several feedback comments that said this was the worst thing for Plymouth and I'm gonna go shop elsewhere. So, I mean, just so that we get a tone of what other public meetings he's been part of, that he can help everyone feel comfortable on how to handle those concerns that come up. Maybe that the people who are most against it will be the ones that tend to show up at the public meetings. So that could give you a good starting point.
Yeah, I mean, it would basically maybe coaching us for how to handle some of these. And we've got the preview because they've put them in the feedback poll. So that's great. All right. So Maria already talked a little bit about the signage. You're working on it. There's those couple examples there. The FAQ from Narbert, actually, I mean, maybe that's not really a single sign. That's a kind of a multi-page short answer response thing. But maybe that seems like something good to have on the website, actually, Andrew. But it could be also kind of a printout that the stores could have available.
Do
But I
we
think
want to
can-
have, do we want to have a fact sheet for our town hall too? Or at least scan a barcode or something like that. Scan something that they can find it,
Mhm.
unless we put Andrew wants to put it on our website.
I definitely think we want to cover it on the website, but yeah, at the town hall,
Yeah,
Certainly have some hard copies available. That'd be good too.
or even have it on a poster board. A couple of the facts.
Yeah.
Or Andrew, are you doing a PowerPoint?
Are you,
For the-
for the presentation for town hall?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah. So, my initial ideas there, and I wanted to get feedback, was just we have some kind of status summaries go through. I don't think we need to probably sell it too much, but I guess there could be some people showing up and objecting and so forth. So we'll kind of go through the benefits again, and then talk through some of the details that we're proposing. And then I think that council wants to get the feedback on, is 5 cents, 15 cents, etc. Is that the right number? But I think we put forth our proposal in line with what, our guidance we're getting from Penn Environment, what's they're seeing working best. And we'll propose that. And then I thought we could do, some of the survey results, because I have no idea how many are gonna show up for the town hall. And so we have 100 plus responses on that survey. So provide those as input. And I wasn't sure, I guess, too much what else, but yeah, I was gonna put together a presentation, and I guess I'm expecting to talk. I don't know if anybody wants to talk, but anyway, that was my thoughts.
Oh, and Andrew's doing it. Butler Ranch. I think Bill, would you suggest I call a couple supermarkets and ask them how they manage this in Plymouth? Andy,
Sorry,
anybody?
say that again, Maria, manage
How
what?
how each supermarket handles people who bring their own bags.
Yeah, I was suggesting the Giant over there at White Marsh at Butler Pike, and it's actually Ridge and Butler Pike.
Yeah, I know where it is. Yeah.
There's a Giant there, and they have already put up the sign for bringing your own bags. So it could be worth looking at how they handle customer concerns about that, only because since they're a large chain and they've already faced this in Philadelphia, wherever else it's taken place, they might probably already have ways of working with customers.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be at least a starting point. A real good tip from a Tredyffrin Chester County EAC lead on their plastic bag. They found that the biggest improvement of customer reaction or resident reaction was stores that actually put a sign at their door saying, "Did you remember your reusable bag?" Because a lot of people get frustrated until they get in the habit that they enter the store and then they realize, "Hey, I have to pay for a bag." So that's just one thing. And I noticed that the signage in Philadelphia was up on the liquor stores, I think a certain number of months before the ordinance would take effect. So that's just one other mention about the signage.
Right. So we really have to give it, months to get implemented for sure. Yeah.
And Farron will probably give you a good idea what's a reasonable amount of time between the public meeting and the actual implementation.
Yeah. We were hoping that Plymouth Township Day we could give out bags, but we're really up against the wire now.
I still have a box of Giant reusable bags, so you can go ahead and promote it. So if the public meeting is in May and the Township Day is in June, you have a perfect opportunity.
Oh, we still have some. Oh, okay. I know we gave them out last year, you and I and Andy. So, okay. No, I was hoping we would have Plymouth Township bags, but we had got it Upper Gwinnett.
Okay, Andrew, any questions on the website where you're going with that? I mean, the person to contact from the township, Brandon Strong. Did I got that right? Brandon Strong? Um, so I don't, his email's on the website, but I can give it to you if you want, but,
Yeah, I think I have his, but yeah, thanks. I got your email. I think I'll just keep plugging away at it until I have a good draft, and then I'll send it out to all of you guys for feedback. And then once I get some comments, I'll change some things around and I'll send it off to Brandon to post, make a new page.
Great. So yeah, I mean, like we said, we'll have to be flexible as the township revises, whatever they're moving forward with that at the town hall and so forth. But I think it would be, very good to have that up before the town hall, so people have that resource to go to and then come to the town hall.
You can refer people to it, absolutely. Yeah. Are you going to be sending this PowerPoint to us, Andy?
This PowerPoint right here?
Yeah, because I can't click on it now. I was
Right.
trying to, yeah, because
It's in the meeting invite that I sent you.
oh, okay, it's in the meeting notes. Okay.
Mhm.
Didn't
It's
realize.
already shared with us, so we have
Our
access.
share drive? Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
And I just talked about what I was thinking for the presentation. I guess, Nick, can I ask you what your thoughts are for the town hall? How you would expect this to go? How much time you would like us to talk versus allow for uh, residents to voice their opinions? Should we assume we have 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour? You there, Nick? Okay. So if you're not seeing, he put in the chat.
In the
I
chat,
think
yeah.
in general, your presentation would be best if around 20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good time. It's about like what we would normally have to present at a township meeting when we're presenting the ordinance or something like that. So I think that sounds good. Chat again, council would likely ask a few questions and ourselves and then give the floor over to residents. Okay,
That sounds right.
great. All right. And yeah, if you have anything specifically that the council would like to see in our presentation, please pass that along. I'll take like I said, the old status. I'll just do like an outline or something, and I'll just share it with the group so I don't spend too much time working on it, but we can continue to revise it. And obviously, as we talk to Farron next month, we'll get a better idea on what the other townships are doing and presenting. So, and the latest information. So, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, comparisons with other townships
Okay,
will come up for sure. Yeah, yeah. So
that
we've got a
makes
list
sense.
of other townships, and yeah, I think we even have a table on some of the details, so we can share that.
Okay.
All right, no, I appreciate that, the feedback. Anything else, or I know hour 14 minutes here, ready to push forward. I think we're
Okay.
pretty good place here. All right.
Yep.
All right, so I it is getting a little late, so I won't spend too much time. I wanted to just kind of share some charts. This chart and the next chart, just what is going on. It's not necessarily things that we'll take up, so I don't want it to take up too much time, but it's more for us to stay informed. This is at the state level, different bills that are moving through, and that probably could largely use our support and other support. I don't know how many will ever make it into the law, but just put out these few different bills. A couple of them I found a little hard. They've got the number there and you can look them up, but I think like 1808 there, the bill I looked up there didn't really look like it had anything to do with recycling. So maybe I've got the wrong number there, but anyway, some different things that are going on. Given we're an hour 15 in, I'll push forward and not really present them, but you guys can go through and look at them on your own time.
Which one did you want us to review?
It's up to you. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's just all this is these two charts are just for your information, different things that are going on. That's at the state level. This one's a little more local. So the first thing is at the county level, there is this committee that was put together to help with the new county level leadership. So Lynn actually sits on the steering committee itself. Underneath that committee, there are other advisory committees on several different subjects. One of them is sustainability and climate change. And we know several of the members on there. I don't know if everybody knows, but Joy Berge is one that we've probably had several emails forwarded to this group over the years. So good friend of Bill's and has helped provide us some good information. Zach Davis also in Upper Marion. So, and then of course, so they're the co-chairs of that Sustainability and Climate Change Committee. And then Bill, congratulations, is a member. So that group just started. That group just started meeting, and as I understand it, Bill, you can let me know if you've got an update on this, but it is a very short-term committee to help provide some input to the county level, but they're expected to wrap up even just by April or the end of April, providing a short report to the county level for their consideration and knowledge. So I'm gonna jump in, Bill, if I've said anything incorrect there. But
No, that's good. And Zach and Joy have given us a goal of trying to come up with our draft list of action items for the commissioners towards the end of this month, actually just next week, and then refine it through peer reviews with the other subcommittees through March. And then they're hoping for a presentation to the commissioners early April. They're also hoping that this will continue as an advisory group, going forward. Right now, the commissioners had just asked for this to help them get their first 100-day understanding of, what the most important priorities should be. So they haven't discussed whether it'll continue, but Zach and Joy and others, I think, are going to push for it to be a continuing mechanism for citizens to give input to the commissioners.
just
Sounds good.
1 minute, Bill. Really quickly, what are some of the topics you guys are throwing out there for talking about in your 5-page report?
So yeah, our subcommittee is called the Energy Transition, lo and behold, and with Joy and Joy from Springfield Township EAC and Nancy Winkler from Lower Marion EAC. Lower Marion actually has a fantastic sustainability and energy transition plan, and they have a sustainability director also. So they're pretty far ahead of a lot of townships. But using those principles that we learned during our CESP training, we're focusing on what are the priorities the commissioners can do in county operations, like electrifying their transportation fleet, minimizing carbon fuel energy, seeing where they can transition off of fossil fuels, if they have any opportunities to install solar, if there are any new county buildings, properties to target the highest efficiency and also equipment upgrades and also building, trying to build to a more energy efficient building. So, yeah, I think our list is only going to be like a page and a half of the 5-page report because there's 4 other subcommittees.
All right, thanks. And then the other topic I have on here, I saw, I don't know if even know if it was in the last month or maybe a little bit older than that, but several emails going around about the gas-powered leaf blower ban. Several townships there, and then Quiet Clean Philly either have something or are working on something along these lines. So I put the one link in there to example of what was worked on at Lower Marion. I was a little surprised. I don't know if it was in that article or where I read that it was a half hour of running a gas powered 2-stroke leaf blower engine was the same hydrocarbon output as running a certain type of car for like 3,900 miles. I know they burn very inefficiently and dirty. I was pretty shocked by that number there. At the same time, it's only a relative number, so I can't really say what that means, except that it's much worse than that certain type of car. But that certain type of car, I mean, a hydrocarbon is a certain type of carbon molecule, very high potential GHG greenhouse gas, in global warming potential. But I don't know, cars, the way they burn might barely put out, negligible amounts. And so to say it puts out, thousands of miles of a car running, I don't really know what it meant. But it was an interesting stat there. I was a little surprised by that. So basically they're looking at getting rid of gas powered ones, and then at least the one I reviewed even at limited seasons when you could even use a battery powered leaf blower. Basically the preference is that you let it lie, you let it decompose in your yard. They do allow it during the fall leaf seasons and other seasons, but so it was not a complete ban. But I thought it was interesting that it's not, at least what I read, wasn't simply get rid of the gas. It actually went further into limiting your usage even of a battery powered one. So I just put that out there. I don't know if anyone has any other thoughts on that, but again, it's not something I'm proposing we take up at this time, but it's an idea for future, and we can keep an eye on what these townships are doing and municipalities are doing, and see if that's something else we would like to take up in the future. If there's no other comments, that's, I believe, my last chart. So the other topic I'd just like to put out there, have Rick talk about any news from the township to share. How's the municipal building renovations going, and I don't know what else about the parks or anything.
Yeah, so the municipal building project's moving along. I mean, we have some dates towards the end of March that are substantial completion dates for some different phases. So it's getting really close. There's a lot of spaces that are very close to being completed, but are not completed yet. So it's going to kind of all happen at once, I think, towards the end of next month. So I'll just say that's moving along. As far as other projects go, I got council's approval to move forward with a few of the projects that were budgeted for 2024. One is recolor coding a lot of our courts, tennis, basketball, multi-purpose courts in the parks, and then we're going to go out to bid to renovate our pool mechanical room, which is in need. So that's a larger scale project for this year. Yeah, so that's really what we have going on right now.
With the pool mechanical room, I mean, I know the pumps in there, I think that was a large energy usage. I'd have to dig back up the energy
Yeah, the
analysis
pool
we
pumps,
did, and then
they run. I mean, there's several.
mhm.
I guess there's many pumps in there, but they do run, most of them run 24/7, 365. The water has to be turned over per code. The new plan does have VFDs on some of those pumps. Where so yes.
And then I think another thing we were talking about years ago when we looked at it was evaporation of the water, and there's a large amount of replenishment that takes
Right.
place. I guess mechanical room may not have anything to do with that.
Yeah, that's more of that the mechanical room doesn't have anything to do with the evaporation. I mean, that's we looked into that, and really the only option that is that works is to put a some type of solar type cover over the pool, but you need several people to do it, or you need some type of mechanical device to roll it out and roll it on, and it was kind of put on the back burner.
Mhm. All right. On the mechanical parts, yeah, I don't know any high efficiency pumps or anything. It'd certainly be
Yeah,
of interest to this group, but
yes, there will be. Like I said, they'll have variable frequency drives on them. We're going to move. Right now, there's 4 boilers in the building that mainly heat the pool water, and they're on the total opposite side of the pool. So we're going to move a high efficiency boiler into the mechanical room to heat the pool water, so it won't have to travel, through a loop all the way across the building and back. So that should help. And then they're going to change the filtering system from sand filters to diatomaceous earth filters. And trying to think what other components would be. New heat exchangers. Trying to think what else is in there. That's the gist of it for the most part. A HVAC unit for that room. Right now, it's sharing the HVAC from the actual natatorium itself, which is not good for the corrosion. Possibly changing to liquid chlorine. So yeah, there's some of the components.
I know it's I guess I don't know how you do it. I was in a school and I was looking at the energy usage there, and their boiler room actually had a large window that had no window in it. It was screened and it was open all year round because the boiler put out so much heat off of it that room and the rooms above it and everything were always the hottest in the building, and actually pretty stifling. So I don't know, how efficient and how much better this boiler would be, but if there
Yeah.
is any heat that it gives off, just putting that into the pool room, or I guess during the summer, you wouldn't want to do that, but I don't know how much it's run during the summer anyway. But
Well, the boilers run all year round because they heat the pool water. So, you know, when you backwash the pool, you take out, you know, thousands of gallons. It lowers the temperature of the pool water. So the boilers, you know, raise that temperature. But the boiler that we will put in the pump room will be a high efficiency, you know, direct vent type boiler, which is not what we have now. We have, you know, chimney or, you know, gas pipe. And it does get hot in there. I mean, the pipes go up,
Mhm.
you know, 20 feet before they go through through the roof outside, but you can feel the warmth in that boiler room. We do have an exhaust fan in there that, you know, once the temperature gets up, it will open and suck some of that hot air out of there, in the boiler room.
It'll be good. I mean, in the right season, in the winter season, to make use of that heat. Obviously, not have the option to not use it during the
Well, I think the
summer would be
next
good, but-
project will be, since our boilers are 25 years old, 27 years old, the next project after we get the pump room done will be to go to, you know, a couple, like 1.5 million BTU, you know, direct vent, high efficiency boilers that they have now. I mean, they're tiny, they're very efficient, but that would be the next project after the pump room.
Okay. All right, well, the other thing I had was the objective to keeping no more than an hour and a half. So anyway, that's the agenda I had for the night, but if anybody has anything, go ahead and bring it up. Or we can accept motions to close.
Make a motion that we end the meeting.
I'll second.
All right, well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I have some notes,
Thanks, everyone.
I have some notes I'll send out
Thank you.
after the meeting here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all.
All right.
Have a
Night.
good one.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, see you
Stay
guys.